Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Off Campus. We have before going into the video, kindly subscribe our channel Off Campus and then click on the bell icon also. Then only you will receive notifications whenever we upload videos. Previously we have posted part 1 video. We have discussed previous year gate problems which is helpful for our TNEB assistant engineering. Okay, this is a continuation of our previous video VDC part 2. Here also we are going to solve previous year frequently asked questions in all the competitive exams. Okay, we'll see one by one. This one question: a silicon sample is uniformly doped with donotype impurities with a concentration of 10 power 16 per centimeter cube. The electron and hole mobilities in the sample are 1200 centimeter squared by volt into second and 400 centimeter squared volt second respectively. Assume completely ionization of impurities. Assume complete ionization of impurities. The charge of an electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. The resistivity of the sample in omega centimeter. So all the data are given. What are all the data is given? Donor impurity concentration is given. Then electron and hole mobilities are given. These are electron mobility. This one is hole mobility. Then what is given? The charge of an electron is given. We need to find out the resistivity. Okay, we'll see. First, write down one by one the given data in the question. Donor impurity concentration Nd, mu n, mu p, all data and charge of an electron. We are going to find out the resistivity. Actually, what is resistivity? Resistivity is nothing but reciprocal of the conductivity. Resistivity equal to 1 by sigma. Rho is equal to 1 by sigma. What is the sigma formula? Nd q mu n. Sigma is equal to Nd q mu n. Conductivity sigma is equal to Nd q mu n. So, just substitute all the values given in the question, then we can find out the resistivity value 0.520 omega into centimeter. Then move on to the next problem. What is that? An NPN transistor with C pi is equal to 0.3 picofarad has a unity gain cutoff frequency f tau of 400 megahertz, has a DC bias current IC is equal to 1 milliamperes. The value of its C mu in picofarad is approximately, okay, VT value is threshold voltage value is equal to 26 millivolts. So C pi value given and F tau value given, IC also given, C micro value we are going to find out. Okay, so just write down the data given in the question one by one. Then what is the formula? F tau is equal to Gm divided by 2 pi into Ce plus Cc. What is Ce here? Ce is C b dash E is which is equal to C pi. Cc is equal to C b dash E C micro. Okay. So just change this Gm by 2 pi into C pi plus C mu. So we know the value of all the data. Gm we don't know. What is the formula for Gm? Gm is equal to IC by modulus IC by Vt. Okay, transconductance value. So IC value we know, Vt value know. This is one. Just apply, then find out Gm. Then what else? F tau is equal to we know 400 megahertz. Substitute. We are going to find out C micro na. C micro only. Okay. As I said earlier, Gm is equal to IC by Vt, 1 milliamps by 26 milliamps. Then substitute in that formula, find out the C micro as 15 picofarad. Okay, all are direct questions only. Just what we know is we should know all the formulas. Okay, just the direct substitution of all values in that formula, we can find out the answer. Very simple only. Next, a silicon PN junction at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius has a reverse saturation current of 10 picoamperes. Then reverse saturation current at 40 degrees Celsius for the same bias is approximately. So what is given? For 20 degrees Celsius temperature, the reverse saturation current is 10 picoampere. If the reverse saturation current, the same bias voltage is same only. If the temperature is increased to 40 degrees Celsius, what will be the current? We are going to find out that. Actually, for every 10 degrees Celsius, reverse saturation current will be doubled. For every 10 degrees Celsius, reverse saturation current doubles. So what is the formula? Reverse saturation current with temperature. IC naught 2 is equal to IC naught 1 into 2 power T2 minus T1 divided by 10. This is the formula, very important. In that, for and also what is the clue? For every 10 degrees Celsius, the reverse saturation current getting double. Okay, IC naught 2 is equal to IC naught 1 into 2 power T2 minus T1 divided by 10. So IC naught 1, what is the reverse saturation current? This one, 10 picoamperes at temperature 20 degrees Celsius. Then T2 at 40 degrees Celsius, what is IC naught 2? We are going to find out this one. IC naught 1 is equal to IC 0 at T equal to T1 degrees Celsius. IC naught 2 is nothing but IC naught at T equal to T2 degrees Celsius. Okay. So IC naught 1 we know. What is 10 picoamperes, right? So 10 into 10 power minus 12 into 2 power T2. T2 is 40 degree and T1 is which 20 degree. Okay. 2 power T2 by 40 minus 20 divided by 20. We will get 20 by 10 nothing but 2. 2 power 2 is nothing but 4. So 10 picoamperes into 4, we will get 40 picoamperes. 40 picoamperes is the right option. For 20 degree, it is 10. For 40 degrees, the reverse saturation current is 40 picoamperes. So this is the direct formula substitution. We find out the answer. Or otherwise, what is this statement? From this statement, we can find out how. For every 10 degrees Celsius, the reverse saturation current doubles. Okay. For 20-30 means, see, this is an alternate method. Okay. For 20 degrees Celsius, it is 10 picoampere. Then what is 30? We are going to find out for 40 degree only. Na? So for every 10 degree, the current doubles. Okay. Then for the 30 degrees Celsius, it is multiple of 2 doubled. Means 20 picoamperes. Then what is 40 degrees Celsius? It is getting double, 40 picoamperes. So this is the simple and alternate method. Okay. So we are going to solve the next problem. An amplifier is assumed to have a single pole high frequency transfer function. The rise time of its output response to a step function input is 35 nanoseconds. So rise time is 35 nanoseconds. The upper 3 dB frequency in megahertz for the amplifier to the sinusoidal input is approximately what is given? Rise time value is given. We need to find out the upper 3 dB frequency. Okay. So what is the formula for rise time with the bandwidth? Rise time TR is equal to 0.35 divided by bandwidth. Bandwidth is equal to what is? Higher cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. No, upper cutoff minus lower cutoff. FH minus FL. If FH is very greater than FL means which is approximately equal to, bandwidth is approximately equal to which higher cutoff frequency itself. Okay. So bandwidth is equal to 0.35 divided by rise time. Rise time is given as this one, 35 into 10 power minus 10. By solving, we will get bandwidth is equal to 10 megahertz. So because in formula upper 3 dB frequency is nothing but bandwidth itself. So which one? In megahertz only. So 10 megahertz. We'll move on to the next problem. A heavily doped n-type semiconductor has the following data: hole electron mobility ratio 0.4, doping concentration 4.8 into 10 power 8 by meter cube, intrinsic concentration 1.8 into 10 power 4 per meter cube. The ratio of conductance of the n-type semiconductor to that of the intrinsic semiconductor of same material and at the same temperature is given by. So what we are going to find out, actually the given data is given hole electron mobility ratio for n-type, that is mu p to mu n ratio. Mu p to mu n is nothing but 0.4. Then what else given? Doping concentration. This n-type, so donor doping concentration is Nd. So Nd is equal to this one. This is mu p by mu n. This is Nd. Intrinsic concentration is nothing but Ni. Okay. All data is given. So what we are going to find out, the ratio of conductance of the n-type semiconductor to that of the intrinsic semiconductor of the same material at the same temperature. So ratio of conductance means sigma of n-type to that of intrinsic conductor, conductance of sigma I. So we are going to find out the ratio of sigma n to sigma I. Okay, we'll see. So first, what is sigma n? Sigma n formula we know, nd q mu n. Sigma I is nothing but n is q, it is intrinsic. So it includes both n type as well p type. So ni q into mu n plus mu p. So q and q get cancelled. The remaining is nd mu n divided by ni mu n into mu p. So from this denominator take mu n outside. Okay, when we taking mu n outside, so mu n divided by mu n, here nd in the numerator divided by ni into, when we taking mu n means 1 plus, right, this is 1 plus mu p by mu n. Okay, so mu n get cancelled, then this is get cancelled. What is remaining? nd into ni into 1 plus mu p by mu n. Okay, so we'll see what are all the data given. Mu p by mu n ratio will know nd ni, that only in remaining na nd ni and mu p by mu n. Substitute all this value and then find out the ratio of sigma n to sigma I is equal to 20,000. Okay, then move on to the next one, which is the probability that an electron in a metal occupies the Fermi level at any temperature T is greater than 0 degree Kelvin. So we are going to find out the probability that an electron in a metal occupies. Okay, in metals, what is the energy band diagram? There is no forbidden gap, all are superimposed. So for a semiconductor, for a metals, what is the probability? It is 1. For semiconductor, what is the probability? 0.1. For metal, probability is 1. Okay, the intrinsic carrier concentration of silicon sample is 300 degree Kelvin is 1.5 into 10 power 16 per meter cube. And after doping, the number of majority carriers is 5 into 10 power 20 per meter cube, the minority carrier density. So what is given? Intrinsic carrier concentration value is given. After doping, the number of majority carrier concentration value is given. We are going to find out the minority carrier density. So intrinsic we know, majority carrier we know, we are going to find out the minority carrier density. We'll see. So we know mass action law. Mass action law, what it states, n into p into n squared. So majority into minority equal to ni squared. Ni squared is nothing but intrinsic carrier concentration. This is majority and this one is minority. Majority into minority is equal to square of the intrinsic carrier concentration. So this is the formula. So we are going to find out the minority carrier concentration means then what? Ni squared divided by majority. So we know the value of ni squared. This is ni value rho. This is majority means this is majority carrier concentration. So taking that squared divided by majority carrier concentration given in the question, then find out the minority carrier concentration value as 4.50 into 10 power 11 per meter cube. Then moving to the next one, the action of JFET in its equivalent circuit can best be represented as a option B, current control current source, current control voltage source, voltage control current source, voltage control voltage. Actually, what is a JFET? JFET is input voltage is controlled by the output current. Input voltage is controlled by output current. That is voltage controlled current source. Voltage control current source. For JFET, voltage control current source is the right answer. Then diffusion capacitance of a PN junction diode. 4 different options are given. So we'll see what is actually a diffusion capacitance and then formula. Then we'll see the 4 different options. Decreases with increasing current, increasing temperature, decreases with decreasing current and increasing temperature, increases with increasing current and increasing temperature, does not depend on current and temperature. So first we know what is diffusion capacitance. PN junction capacitances at high frequencies, they exhibit two type of frequencies. That one is diffusion capacitance, other one is transition capacitance. Diffusion capacitance is denoted as CD, transition capacitance is CT. So diffusion capacitance dominates under forward bias, whereas transition capacitance dominate under reverse bias. So we are going to concentrate only on the diffusion capacitance CD. So what is the formula for diffusion capacitance CD? Tau I by eta Vt. This is efficiency, current, voltage, and it is the lifetime. So CD equal to tau I by eta value. So this is the relationship. So what we know from whenever CD, so these diffusion capacitance, it depends on the which increasing, it depends on current and temperature. Okay, we are going to see the relationship with diffusion capacitance with current and the temperature. So diffusion current, diffusion capacitance, this is the current and this is the temperature. So whenever see, it is directly proportional, CD decreases or increases, I also going to increase or decrease, then temperature going to increase. Okay, so whenever decreasing with a decreasing current and increasing temperature, option B is the right option. Okay, this is a thermal voltage. Then going to next one, a DC power supply has no load voltage of 30 volt and a full load voltage of 25 volt at a full load current of 1 amperes. Its output resistance and load regulation respectively. We are going to find out the output resistance and load regulation. Whenever question, we should read the question very carefully and we should be able to understand what is the data given in the question and what we are going to find out. Okay, so read it very carefully and slowly. So no load voltage means V no load. V no load is 30 volt. Then what is given? Full load voltage means VFL. VFL 25 volt. Then full load current means IFL 1 amperes. So what is output resistance R naught and load regulation? So R naught, what is that? Then what is percentage of load regulation? So regulation we are going to find out. So these are the data given, we are going. So R naught is nothing but just a VFL by IFL. So 25 by 1, we are getting 25 ohms. Okay. Then what is percentage regulation? Load regulation, V no load minus V full load divided by V full load into 100. So 30 minus 25 divided by 25, by simplifying we are getting 20%. So 25 ohms and 20% is the right answer. Then a BJT is said to be operating in the saturation region if, so we are going to, if it is in the operate in the saturation region means how the junction biasing we are going to find out. Both junctions are reverse bias, base emitter junction is reverse bias and base collector is forward bias, base emitter junction is forward bias and base collector junction is reverse bias. Option D, both junctions are forward bias. So if it is saturation region means both the junctions are forward bias. What are the both junction? Emitter base junction and collector base junction. Both are forward bias for saturation region. So option D is the right option. We'll see some of the regions and some of the biasing in BJT. Okay. For example, if it is a BJT, emitter base collector, okay, NPN or PNP, this is, then emitter base collector lets, this is a junction, emitter base junction, this is collector base junction JC, JE and JC. We'll see what is the JE and JC biasing with region. Region of BJT, if both are forward bias means it is saturation region. Emitter base junction forward, collector base junction reverse bias means active region. Then emitter base junction reverse, collector base junction forward means reverse active region. Then both junctions are reverse bias means cut off. In simple, If both junctions are forward bias, it is saturation region. Both is reverse, when it is then it is acting in a cutoff region. If emitter base forward, collector base reverse means active region. If it is emitter base reverse bias and collector base forward bias means it is reverse active region. Okay, simple. Then in the figure shown below, has a PN diode with a cutoff voltage of 0.7 volt. So the figure is given. I have drawn in the next page. Okay, voltage of 0.7 volt and a Schottky diode with a cutoff voltage of 0.3 volt. If on indicates conducting state and off indicates non-conducting states, then we are going to find out whether the D1 on or D2 the on off condition. Okay, what is given? PN diode cutoff voltage is 0.7 volt. This is a PN junction volt. The cutoff voltage given as 0.7 volt. Then what is that voltage of Schottky diode cutoff voltage is 0.3 volt. This is a Schottky diode D2 0.3 volt. Okay, we are going to see. So here see, cutoff voltage is 0.7 volt. It is less than 12 volt. Then positive terminal is connected to the positive terminal of the diode and negative terminal is connected to the negative terminal of, so it is a short circuit, at access or short circuit. Then it is a drop, voltage drop is 0.7 volt cutoff voltage, which is also less than the given source voltage, so it is act as a short circuit. Then coming for the Schottky diode, this is a PN junction, this is Schottky diode. So for that, positive terminal is connected to positive terminal of the diode and negative terminal is negative diode. So it is cutoff voltage also 0.3 volts. So this also act as a short circuit. Short circuit means on switch. Okay. So D1 also getting on, D2 also on. Open circuit means off circuit, off switch. Short circuit means on circuit, on switch. D1, both D1 and D2 on. D1 on, D2 on. Okay. Next, move on to the next problem. From a measurement of the rise time of the output pulse of an amplifier whose input is a small amplitude square wave, one can estimate the following parameter of the amplifier. What is given actually? Rise time. From the measurement of the rise time, what we can find out? Already we have seen one formula now. Rise time is equal to 0.35 by bandwidth. So which is nothing but in the options given, gain bandwidth products, slew rate, upper 3 dB frequency and lower 3 dB frequency. See, bandwidth is nothing but fh minus fl. From the right side, from the measurement of the right time, what we are going to find out? Okay, we can find out which parameter. From the options we are going to find out. So bandwidth is fh minus fl. So if fl is very less than fh means bandwidth is approximately, see, it is 100 and this is 0.0001 means there is no it will not impact so much. Okay, so which is equal to bandwidth is approximately equal to fh only. Okay, higher frequency only, higher or upper 3 dB frequency. So from the measurement of the right time we can find out the upper 3 dB frequency. So upper 3 dB frequency is the right option. Then in MOSFET fabrication, the channel length is defined during the process of isolation oxide growth, channel stop implantation, polysilicon gate patterning, lithography step leading to the contact pads. In the MOSFET fabrication, channel length is defined during the process of polysilicon gate patterning. Polysilicon gate patterning. Channel length is defined during the process of polysilicon gate patterning. Option C is the right option. Then an n-type silicon bore 0.1 centimeter long and 100 micrometer squared in cross-sectional area has a majority carrier concentration of 5 into 10 power 20 per meter cube and the carrier mobility is 0.13 meter squared per volt square at 300 degree Kelvin. If the charge of an electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, then the resistance of the bore. So all data is given, we are going to find out the resistance of the bar. Okay, so n type, so 0.1 centimeter long means length is L equal to 0.1 centimeter. So other values are given in meter, so we'll change this to meter as 0.001 meter. Okay, then what else given? Bore long and cross sectional area means A is equal to 100 micrometer squared. Okay, then majority carrier concentration is nothing but this is a n type. What is the majority? Nd value. This is carrier mobility is nothing but mu n. This is mu n value, and charge of an electron is q. Okay, all data is given, we are going to find out the resistance. So resistance is equal to R is equal to rho L by A. Okay, before go, this is the formula for resistance of the bar. Rho R is equal to rho L by A. So L value, A value, we know that, right? What else we need to find out? Resistivity. So for the resistivity is nothing but 1 by sigma. What is sigma? Nd q mu n. So Nd q mu n value is given in the question. So just apply these and find out the resistivity value. Then find out the resistivity value, apply here, and length and area, all this find out. Resistance of the bar is nothing but 10 power 6 ohms. Option A is the right option. All problems, as I told earlier, all problems are based on the direct substitutions of the formula. So when we are aware of the all formulas, we can easily solve the problems. A Zener diode works on the principle of 4 different options are given: tunneling of charge carriers across the junction, thermionic emission, diffusion of charge carriers across the junction, hopping of charge carriers across the junction. A Zener diode works on the principle of tunneling of charge carriers across the junction. Option A is the right option. Then, a silicon PN junction diode under reverse bias has depletion region width is 10 micrometer. The relative permittivity of silicon epsilon r is equal to 11.7 and the permittivity of free space 8.85 into 10 power minus 2 farad per meter. The depletion capacitance of the diode per square meter. So we are going to find out the depletion capacitance. Depletion capacitance is nothing but CD. So what is the formula? Epsilon A by D. Okay, this is the, we know the general formula for capacitance. No, C is equal to epsilon A by D. That only. So epsilon is nothing but epsilon naught into epsilon r A by D. So epsilon naught value is given. Epsilon r value is given 11.7. Then what else given? Depletion region with 10 micrometers. Nothing but D value. Depletion with D is equal to 10 micrometer. So what is asked in the question? What is given in the question? See, depletion capacitance of the diode per square meter. See, per square meter, it is not just a depletion capacitance of the diode. We are going to find out the depletion capacitance. Read the question very carefully. The depletion capacitance of the diode per square meter. Per square meter is, this is the formula, epsilon naught epsilon r A by D. Per square meter means A. A is area value is square meter or meter square. From the question, square meter given us. So depletion capacitance per square meter means C by A. We are going to find out. Okay. C by A means epsilon naught epsilon r by D. Okay. This one. Just substitute all the values, then find out C by A value as 10 microfarad. Option B is the right option. Then, a small concentration of minority carriers is injected into a homogeneous semiconductor crystal at one point. An electric field of 10 volt per centimeter is applied across the crystal, and this moves minority carriers a distance of 1 centimeter is 20 microseconds. The mobility in centimeter squared per volt into second will be. So what is given? Electric field value given, then distance given, then what else given? We need to find out the mobility value, right? Electron mobility. So we need to find out E and D only we know. We are going to find out the mobility value and also in time. Time also given, that is not necessary actually here. So we are going to find out the mu value. So what is the relation between E and mu? Drift velocity V is equal to mu into E, where mu is equal to mobility, E is equal to electrical. This is the relationship between V is equal to mu, drift velocity V is equal to mu into E. We are going to find out the mu value. Before that, we are going to find out the drift velocity. From finding out drift velocity only, we are going to find out we will be able to find out the mobility value, right? E value we know. We know only that time also given, right? That is necessary. Very sorry guys. Microsecond time value also given us 20 microseconds. All data given in the problem we have written here. So mu and E we can relate with drift velocity. So we need to know that velocity value. Velocity we know the formula, distance by time. So d by time, d by t. Okay, d by t, what is v value, then what is mu value? Mu is equal to V by E. So substitute all the values, find out the mu value as 5000 centimeter squared into volt second. Then for the circuit shown in the figure, the voltage V naught is, we are going to find out the voltage V naught here. So we are going to redraw this one. So V naught here now, V naught can be at this point. So whenever see diode, positive terminal is connected to the positive terminal, negative is connected to negative terminal of the diode. So it will be diode switch is on, it is short circuited. Okay, diode gets short circuited. So it is 2 ohms. Here V not this one. In the diode, ideal diode, if it is anything not mentioned, we can say it is an ideal diode. For ideal diode, RF0 V micro, it is cut in voltage. Ideal diodes short circuit under forward bias. Okay, now we are going to apply KCL, Kirchhoff's current law, from here. Okay, at V0, Kirchhoff's current law. So from this V0 minus 4 volt divided by 2, right? Then V0 divided by 2 plus, then V0 minus of minus 2 volt. This is minus, right? Positive terminal, here negative terminal. So V0 minus of minus 2 volt divided by this, what resistance here? 2. By substituting all this, we can find out V0 value by equal to 2 by 3 voltage. So 2 by 3 voltage, in the options there is no mentioned in. So none of this is the right option. Then the band gap of silicon at 300 Kelvin is, the band gap of silicon at 300 Kelvin is, we are going to find out. Okay. So options given, the band gap of silicon at 300 Kelvin is nothing but 1.10 electron volt. Option B is the right option. So this is the band gap for 0 degree Kelvin, 300 Kelvin for silicon and germanium, electron mobility, hole mobility, diffusion coefficient dN and dP for all this. If you want this, please note down. Okay. In BJT, transistor VBE is equal to 0.7 volt and VT is equal to 25 millivolt and reverse saturation current is 10 power minus 13 amperes. Find the transconductance in milliamperes per volt. Okay. VBE value given, VT value given, then transconductance value MA by voltage is equal to milliampere by volt. We are going to find out. So what is the formula for GM is equal to GM is equal to modulus IC by VT. So from that IE is equal to IC plus IB, right? Base current is very small because it is lightly doped. So IC approximately equal to IE. Okay, IE by VT. So IE equal to reverse saturation current. And what is the diode current equation? This is a diode current. In general, what is the diode current equation? I equal to I0 into e power minus VBE by VT. I equal to here IE into I naught nothing but reverse saturation current into e power minus VBV by VT. So just substitute in GM is equal to IE by VT. IE value is this one. Just substitute these. Then is is nothing but reverse saturation current is 10 power minus 13 ohm amperes into e power minus VBE 0.7 divided by 25 millivolt, right? VT 25 millivolt. Here I have written as simply volt. Then divided by VT, the same 25 millivolt. Substitute and find out the answer. GM is equal to 5785 milliamperes per volt. This should be in the units of milliamperes per volt. Okay. The majority carriers in an n-type semiconductor have an average drift velocity in a direction perpendicular to a uniform magnetic field B. The electric field E induced due to Hall effect acts in the direction. So, under equilibrium, force in the field is Fe is equal to Fm. F is nothing but QE, where Fm drift velocity perpendicular to magnetic field, relation between magnetic field force and electric field and magnetic field force. This is simply QE. This is minus Q into V cross B. Cross is cross product, not just a multiplication. Okay. Then cancel this and this. Then what we get? E equal to minus V cross B. Minus V cross B cross product, we can write it as E is equal to plus B cross V. So, B cross B. B is the right option. Okay. Okay, we will wind up this video up to this. Okay. Please subscribe our channel Off Campus and then click on the bell icon also. We have posted many videos under electronics and communication engineering and engineering mathematics as well. If you haven't seen those videos, still kindly check with the playlist. This will be helpful our upcoming TNAB assistant engineer exam. Okay, thank you so much for watching.